Forces loyal to Libyan leader Moammar Gadhafi have fired a Scud missile for the first time during their battle against rebel forces as the rebels threaten to isolate Tripoli in their push toward the capital. United States officials say the missile landed in the desert about 80 kilometers outside Brega.
Government troops and rebel fighters have battled for months over Brega, a strategic oil port city. NATO warplanes have targeted Libyan air defenses and Scud missiles to prevent Gadhafi from using them. Meanwhile, the rebels say they control most of Zawiya, 50 kilometers west of Tripoli. Pro-Gadhafi forces exchanged heavy fire with rebel fighters in the town on Monday. A government spokesman says fighters also captured the towns of Surman, 60 kilometers west of Tripoli, and Gharyan, 80 kilometers south of the capital. A former Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak is set to be tried together with his interior minister, a move that had been demanded by anti-government protesters. In a surprise move, the judge in the case also announced that future proceedings will not be broadcast live. VOA's Elizabeth Arrott reports from Cairo.
Judge Ahmed Rafat says that when Mr. Mubarak's trial resumes next month, the proceedings will not be televised. A move he said was in the interest of the public. Some limit was expected once witnesses began to testify, but a complete ban on televised proceedings seemed to go against the promise of an open and transparent trial. This was Mr. Mubarak's second appearance in court, and he was again wheeled in on a stretcher. His sons Gamal and Ala, who've denied charges of corruption, were at his side. The judge also announced that Mr. Mubarak's case will be combined with former Interior Minister Habib al-Adli. Supporters and opponents of the ex-president both welcome the move, which is designed to streamline the process in terms of evidence and testimony. Both men have pleaded not guilty to charges they ordered the killing of protesters during the anti-government uprising earlier this year, and both could face the death penalty if convicted. Mr. Mubarak is the only Arab leader to have been brought to trial during the popular uprisings that have swept the region, and images of the 83-year-old former leader confined to a courtroom cage have outraged his supporters.
He didn't do like in Syria with President Assad or Libya with Gadhafi. He stepped down with dignity, with pride.
But others in the crowd who gathered outside the courthouse disagreed, and the two sides clashed briefly, with rocks thrown and riot police intervening. Some in the crowd are demanding Mr. Mubarak receive the ultimate penalty. This man's 13-year-old son was among the more than 800 people who were killed during the uprising.
The death sentence, the just retribution, the man who betrays his nation, who kills it, it's not fair that he lives.
The trial is set to resume September 5th, following the holy month of Ramadan. Elizabeth Arrott, VOA News, Cairo.